Coming up on Citrus TV News Live at 6, Remembrance Week events wrapped up today. We have full coverage on all of the events that happened this week.
The Syracuse Crunch competition took place in Shine Dining. Finds out who made a special appearance.
And a big-time former politician is here in Syracuse today to back a local congressman.
We haven't said goodbye to summer temperatures just yet. I'll let you know when it'll be 70 degrees once again.
All that and more Citrus TV News starts right now.
Good evening and thank you for joining us. Today is Friday, October 24th. I'm Hunter Sines.
And I'm Amanda Harry. Today wraps up Remembrance Week. The annual event recognizes the 35 Syracuse students who lost their lives on Pan Am Flight 103 26 years ago. That's our top story tonight. Remembrance Scholars held their final event of the week with the rose-laying ceremony this afternoon. Citrus TV reporter Nick Papantonis has a recap of all the events.
Suzanne Marie Miatska was a patient, kind, and enthusiastic woman. She was a graduate student in the School of Social Work. Suzanne said that she did not want to just live life, she wanted to exist. I lay this rose on behalf of Suzanne and act forward in her memory.
Roses have been laid and Remembrance Week 2014 is complete. Over the past week, hundreds of students, staff, and family of the victims took part in events honoring those that died in Lockerbie. Over the years, the scholarship has changed and looks very different today than in 1990, according to Judy O'Rourke.
There wasn't a Remembrance Week then, and the difference was that those scholars actually knew the people who were on board Pan Am 103. So the early scholarships were truly remembrance. We remembered and honored those who were lost.
This week kicked off with candles, dove-shaped balloons, and a walk for peace. The week went from calm to chaotic the next morning.
And Tuesday was the sandwich making, which was just totally chaotic, making sandwiches for the Oxford Inn, making 400 sandwiches with 45 people and jars of peanut butter and jelly and an assembly line, and oh my goodness, jelly is very sticky.
Wednesday featured an open mic night with poetry and dancing in Slocum Auditorium, which hosted a panel discussion and film the next evening. Also on Thursday was the opening of the Pan Am 103 collection in Byrd Library. The week wrapped up with the traditional rose-laying ceremony this afternoon. Even though Remembrance Week is over, the work does not stop here. Remembrance Scholars have organized a charity event every single month to keep the memories of Pan Am Flight 103 alive. For Citrus TV News, I'm Nick Papantonis.
As part of Remembrance Week, 35 SU students are chosen to be Remembrance Scholars, each representing one of the 35 SU students who were killed in the Pan Am Flight 103 bombing. Citrus TV's Jonathan Olens has more.
Remembrance Week is a time designated to remember all those who were lost in the Pan Am Flight 103 bombing over Lockerbie, Scotland, especially the 35 Syracuse University students who are coming back from studying abroad. Victoria Miles, one of the scholars, is representing Turhan Michael Ergen.
I represent Turhan Michael Ergen, and he was an amazing person, and you kind of get your person dependent on like how similar they are to you, and you kind of pick who they are.
Since Miles was abroad in London last semester, she feels a special connection with the students being remembered.
I feel amazingly like I know what they were doing and I know where they went, and they like had a pizza box in one of the pictures from one of the places I like remembered going to and going by in London, and it was just like I can't imagine of not being able to come home.
Jackie Barr, another Remembrance Scholar, says being a Remembrance Scholar is a powerful experience.
And I think that it's just a really powerful experience, and just knowing that someone on this campus, especially after going abroad and being in London and coming home, that like could have been any of us.
As part of Remembrance Week, the message is to always remember and to never forget what happened. Jonathan Owens, Citrus TV News.
Tickets to see comedian Kevin Hart sold out just hours after going on sale. Last night, University Union announced Hart is performing on November 2nd in Goldstein Auditorium. The comedian is well known for his stand-ups I'm a Grown Little Man and Laugh at My Pain. Before the comedy show, there will be an early screening of his new film, The Wedding Ringer, followed by a Q&A with Hart and fellow actor Josh Gad. That brings us to the question of the day. Will you be attending the Kevin Hart event next month? Answer by tweeting us at CitrusTV News with the hashtag CitrusQOTD.
Orange Television Network is hosting its second annual 24-hour film competition. The contest begins tonight at 7 p.m. in Shine. Students can sign up as a group and will have exactly 24 hours to create, write, shoot, and edit a short film. The submissions will then be reviewed for awards.
For Jim Gaffigan fans, the wait is almost over. The comedian will be performing tomorrow evening in Goldstein Auditorium. All 1,500 tickets sold out just a few days after going on sale. The University Union-sponsored show starts at 7:15.
And if you didn't get a ticket to see Jim Gaffigan, Orange Appeal has you covered. The Acapellas Group annual Spooktacular concert is also this Saturday. Orange Appeal will host the Mandarins and Acapella groups from Ithaca and SUNY Binghamton. The concert starts at 8 in Shine Underground.
This afternoon, students joined Coach Boeheim in Shine to break a record across the state of New York. Citrus TV News reporter Gane Sutor has the story.
In addition to crunching leaves this autumn, Syracuse University took part in setting a world record today. Along with 18 other schools in the state, SU hopes to record 1 million New York apple crunches for charity.
It's the New York Campus Crunch. There's schools all across New York State, 18 schools right now are participating in it. It's part of the Big Apple Crunch. And basically what we're trying to do is get over 1 million crunches. All you need to do is crunch an apple, take a selfie, and post it to Instagram or Twitter with hashtags New York Campus Crunch or SU Apple Crunch. We're going to have events at the Shine with Coach Boeheim and all of our dining centers. But even if you can't be at any of our events, you can still do it.
How we got Coach Boeheim involved is because my organization, New York Apples, donates money to the Jim and Julie Boeheim Foundation, really specifically for the Coaches versus Cancer. And what we've been doing is trying to raise money to really prevent cancer, especially pediatric cancer.
The New York Apple Crunch is a charitable event on campus, so don't forget to grab your apples, take a selfie, crunch. It's for the kids. Janae Suter, Citrus TV News.
Coming up next, why a former president is here in Syracuse today.
And a school shooting in Washington. All of the details when we come back.
And breezy day today, but we might have a few showers going into this weekend. Stay tuned for your full weather forecast and I'll let you know. Citrus TV News Live at 6. We'll be right back.
2 outs with a runner on first base. Now the big guy comes up to bat, hitting .342 with 92 RBI.
Enfría alimentos crudos y preparados lo antes posible. Este año, 1 de 6 personas en Estados Unidos se enfermará por comer alimentos contaminados. Visita foodsafety.gov/español.
Creo que un compañero de clase de mi amigo tiene algo llamado autismo. El hijo del hermano de mi amigo tiene autismo. El hijo de mi vecino tiene autismo.
Mi hijo tiene autismo.
El autismo está cada vez más cerca de casa. Hoy, 1 de cada 88 niños es diagnosticado con autismo, un aumento de 1000% en 40 años. Conoce las señales del autismo. Llama al 888-772-9050.
There is no credit fairy.
How else will I get a better credit score?
Look, you keep your credit card balances low and only open a new card if you really need it.
No fairy?
There's no magic to improving your credit, but there's help, and it's free. Go to creditfairy.org.
Packers, Viking, Packers, Viking, Viking.
Red state, blue state, vegan.
Carnivore. We come from different places.
Uptown.
Downtown. Night owl.
Early bird. We come to different conclusions.
Half empty.
Half full.
But when we live united, we create real, lasting change in the building blocks of life. The education, income, and health of our communities, our families, united. Even the person next to us.
Live united.
Real change won't happen without you. So give, advocate, volunteer, live united. Sign up at liveunited.org.
A Greek chapter is coming back to Syracuse University. Delta Lambda Phi is in the process of getting their charter back. Right now we have Aaron Goldsmith and President Ivan Robles joining us. So Ivan, first question to you. Why do you think it is more beneficial to work with the Multicultural Greek Council?
I think it's really beneficial because one of the interesting things about the Multicultural Greek Council is it's made up of a lot of smaller chapters on campus. You know, they don't really have a lot of membership. So as we transition into, becoming an established colony and chapter, we're not very big either. So we need someone that's going to be there that went through that and is currently there. So we know, what are those steps that we need to take? What are those, red flags and hurdles that we're going to need to jump? Specifically, in starting philanthropies and being engaged with campus and being a part of the greater Greek community. We make up 30% of campus. Being able to work with the Multicultural Greek Council has been really beneficial so far.
Of course.
So when do you hope to have the fraternity fully established?
Right now, we are considered a colony as of a few weeks ago, and we hope in a year and a half that we'll be officially a chapter. And so that's something we're working towards. We have to establish bylaws and everything until we get to that point.
All right. Well, we'll have to see how it all pans out. Thank you guys for joining us.
Thank you. There was a special guest at Hancock Airport today, former President Bill Clinton. Clinton was here to voice public support for Congressman Dan Maffei in his race against John Katko. This comes just days after Vice President Joe Biden also endorsed Maffei in the election battle that has garnered national attention. The Maffei camp hopes the support will win him his third term in Congress. Some breaking news happening right now in California. 4 people have been shot, including 3 sheriff deputies, after 2 shooters went on a rampage.
Yeah, according to the reports, the shooters in Sacramento shot a driver earlier in the day when he refused to give up the keys to his car. The shooters then shot 3 sheriff's deputies throughout the day before being apprehended. We'll keep you updated as the story develops. And a school shooting leaves 2 students dead, including the gunman at a high school outside of Seattle. Just a few hours ago, a student opened fire at Marysville-Pilchuck High School in Washington State, killing 1 student and injuring 4 more. He then turned the gun on himself. Of the hospitalized students, 3 remain in critical condition. And some breaking news in the case of the missing UVA student, Hannah Graham. The remains found last week are confirmed to be those of the 18-year-old student. The remains were found during a search party effort this past Saturday, just 10 miles from where Graham was last seen.
2 New York City police officers are recovering from being hit with a hatchet on Thursday. The attack began while 4 officers were posing for a photographer, when a man wielding a hatchet struck one in the arm and the other in the head. The remaining 2 officers began firing at the attacker, eventually killing him. A bystander was wounded by a stray bullet. The hatchet swinger has not yet been identified.
Officials in New York City have confirmed the first case of Ebola in the city. Dr. Craig Spencer returned from Guinea on October 17th and began showing symptoms of the virus on Thursday morning. 3 people who had contact with him after he started showing symptoms have been quarantined as a precaution. Spencer is now in isolation in Manhattan's Bellevue Hospital. And now New York and New Jersey have just announced immediate mandatory quarantines. Anyone traveling from West Africa will now have a mandatory 21-day quarantine, even if they do not show symptoms.
Also today, Dallas nurse Nina Pham is officially deemed Ebola-free. Pham contracted the virus while treating Ebola patient Thomas Eric Duncan earlier this month. Her co-worker Amber Vinson was cured of the virus earlier this week as well.
Well, 3 people in Maryland are dead today after a helicopter collided with an airplane in midair. Investigators are now looking into what caused the crash, which killed all 3 passengers of the helicopter but spared the lives of those in the plane. Authorities plan to speak with the survivors and air traffic controllers to find out more about the crash.
The European Union has announced new The European Union has announced new regulations for greenhouse gas emissions. The group of nations decided that within the next 15 years, emissions must be down 40% from levels measured in 1990. Additionally, they are requiring energy efficiency to increase by 27% by the same date. The pact includes more regulations and received harsh criticism from environmentalists who demand that more could be done. The EU is the first bloc of nations to announce a plan to cut greenhouse gas levels beyond 2020.
Just days after Nigeria's government raised hopes that Islamic extremists would return a group of kidnapped girls, conditions have taken a turn. A feeble ceasefire is now in limbo as Boko Haram continues fighting. Talks have stalled between the extremists and the Nigerian government, leaving the fate of the 219 kidnapped girls uncertain.
Russian President Vladimir Putin speaks out against the West today. In a 40-minute speech, the controversial leader said the U.S. threatens world security despite claiming to protect it. Citing wars in Iraq, Syria, and Libya, Putin said the U.S. has actually de-established the world. Putin also defended Russia's reputation, saying the U.S. has falsely portrayed them as the enemy.
Well, coming up after the break, what to expect for your weekend weather. Caroline Strange will have your forecast.
And Aaron Paul takes on Toys R Us. We'll be right back.
Welcome to my block party. Glad you can make it.
The only triple doubles you get come with fries.
Last time you blocked someone, you were online.
I can do this all day. Your moves are just gay.
Using gay to mean dumb or stupid, not cool.
Not cool.
Not in my house, not anywhere. It's not creative, it's offensive to gay people. And you're better than that.
That's low, that's low. That's low. Look, he's blushing. Seriously.
We finally saw some sun today as temperatures got into the low 60s, but the question is it here to stay? Citrus TV's Caroline Strange has your full weather forecast. Caroline?
Well, Hunter, it will stay for a little bit. It will dip back down again, however, but we will see it pick back up throughout the week. Right now, it's 61 degrees. Feels a little bit cooler with some of those winds coming in from the west-northwest at 8 miles an hour. However, if we look at the current temperatures across the northeast, we're actually one of the warmest spots around New York. Buffalo's only at 51, Albany's down in 48. However, this is the warmer section over here, and we'll see in a little bit why that is. Our current dew points, we're almost on the uncomfortable side. There's little pockets of it. There's less moisture in the air. That's in part because of this high pressure system bringing the warm air and some of that drier air up to us. Tonight, it'll dip down to 42 degrees. We'll have slight winds, mostly clear skies. It'll be 4 to 8 miles an hour. Tomorrow morning, it's going to be a high of 64. There's a 30% chance of rain as we go into the afternoon, and winds will be anywhere from 10 to 15 miles an hour coming from the west-southwest. Looking at our 5-day forecast, again, that 30% chance of rain on Saturday. We'll have a 30% chance of rain on Sunday as well with a high of 52, so that's where it dips back down. Monday, it'll be 58 degrees, so a little bit warmer, and then Tuesday, we actually have a high of 71. So we're going to see that pick back up again before it drops down a little bit to 66 with a 40% chance of rain on Wednesday.
So Caroline, we're going to see those real fall temperatures, like the 50s, the 40s.
It'll be a little bit closer to Halloween. It's been surprising a little bit. This is kind of normal, but still a little unusual to have it this warm. Hopefully around Halloween, middle to late November, it'll start to get cooler again.
All right, Caroline Strange, thanks as always.
Thank you. Microsoft sales continue to boom despite overall PC business slumping. The company showed a 25% increase in sales due in part to its merging with Nokia. Revenue for the quarter was upwards of $23 billion. This information coincides with the announcement that Microsoft has dropped the Nokia name from their premium smartphone line.
Well, Breaking Bad received some bad news this week after a Florida mom petitioned Toys R Us to take their dolls off the shelves. A store in New Jersey received some harsh backlash from the show's star, Aaron Paul. Paul tweeted about the incident, claiming the dolls are no worse of a toy than a Barbie. A petition to keep the toys in the store has started, claiming they are collectibles for adults. The petition has gathered more than 20,000 signatures so far.
Coming up, SU gets ready for a battle with Clemson in Death Valley. The Broncos take control of first place in the AFC West, and the World Series continues from the Bay. All that and more when CitrusTV returns.
In 1977, an 8-year-old boy picked up the game of golf from his father. The odds of that same boy then making it to the US and European Pro Golf Tours, 1 in 7 million. The odds of the Big Easy winning the US Open twice, 1 in 1.2 billion. The odds of him having a child diagnosed with autism, 1 in 110. Ernie Els encourages you to learn the signs at autismspeaks.org.
Now it's time for This Week in Bad Stats.
Bad stats?
Horrible stats. Here goes. 132.
That's how many batters struck out 4 times in one game last season.
Wow, very good. Here's a tough one, though. 3 and 4.
No idea.
That's how many kids witness bullying. 3 out of 4.
That's not a good stat.
No, it's not, but it can change. Kids want to help, but they don't know how. Visit stopbullying.gov and give them the tools they need to help prevent bullying.
There are plenty of safe ways kids can help at stopbullying.gov.
Turning a 20-foot wall into a canvas takes vision. So we're getting into college. I've got what it takes. So do you.
SU men's basketball and football programs are under NCAA investigation for allegedly providing extra benefits to players and academic issues. Syracuse basketball head coach Jim Boeheim and Chancellor Kent Syverud and other university officials were invited to an NCAA hearing next week. Part of the case involves former SU star Fab Melo and his academic struggles. And Syracuse women's soccer facing off against number 14 Virginia Tech, and early on it is Michelle Tiernan from across from Layla Gray. She puts it into the net. It's 1-0 Virginia Tech, and it was basically all Virginia Tech all the time. As again, you have Michelle Tiernan right past SU goalkeeper Courtney Brosnan for a 2-0 advantage of Virginia Tech, and later on Candace Seffers from the assist from Shannon Mayrose. She puts it in 3-0 Virginia Tech, and then Shannon Mayrose gets a chance to put in a goal for herself as she kicks after a nice save by Courtney Brosnan. She's able to kick it in, puts it up 4-0. They would tack on a penalty shot goal, and Syracuse loses again 5-0, excuse me. Oof. NFL Week 8 began last night with the Broncos and the Chargers battling it out in the Mile High City. San Diego would tie Denver for first place with a win. Let's take a look at those highlights. Peyton Manning getting ready for his game against the Chargers. He's now the record holder for touchdowns, and you got third quarter action, 14-7 Denver. It's a touchdown to Emmanuel Sanders. Both of them had 3 touchdowns on the game, and then later on it's Juwan Thompson with a 1-yard plunge, puts Denver up 35-14. Philip Rivers trying to keep the Chargers in the game, hooks up with Antonio Gates for the touchdown. It made it a 2-score game, and then Rivers and the Chargers trying one last attempt under 5 minutes remaining. The quarterback heaves it up, and it is intercepted by Raheem Moore of Denver. He's pumped up on the sidelines, and the Denver Broncos are pumped up. They win the game 35-21. With the World Series tied at 1 apiece, the battle moves to the Bay Area. The Royals look to build on the momentum gained in Game 2 when they face the Giants tonight. It is the first time since 2005 the Royals are playing the Giants in San Francisco. On the mound for Kansas City is veteran right-hander Jeremy Guthrie, and he'll be opposed by 39-year-old Tim Hudson. Syracuse makes its first trip to Death Valley Saturday in a clash against number 21 Clemson. The Cuse offense gets a boost with the return of Ashton Broyles and Brisley Esteem. The defending Orange Bowl champions, well, they're a bit banged up. The Tigers are without starting quarterback Deshaun Watson and leading rusher Adam Choice. Game time is slated for 7 p.m.
Kevin, what do you think we're going to see in this game on Saturday against Clemson?
Well, hopefully, because Syracuse has a great running game, they can. And the Clemson Tigers will stack the box, and a lot more passing yards for AJ Long and the receivers.
Everyone should watch Orange Press Pass afterwards, right?
Absolutely.
Thank you, Kevin.
Thank you.
Coming up after the break, one last look at your weather.
And English royalty takes to the Twitter for the first time. Don't go away.
You realize that 49 million Americans struggle with hunger? That's 1 out of every 6 Americans. These people are around us every day. They're our friends, they're our coworkers, their kids go to school with our kids. Sometimes we're not even aware that they're struggling. This problem is closer than you think. So is the solution.
Play a role in ending hunger. Visit feedingamerica.org/hunger and find your local food bank.
Cocina a la temperatura adecuada usando un termómetro para alimentos. Mantén tu familia a salvo. Visita foodsafety.gov/español.
20 years ago, the Americans with Disabilities Act guaranteed every person the right to live, work, and participate fully in the American experience. We've come a long way since then, and we are committed to making even more progress in the years ahead.
Welcome to my block party. Glad you can make it.
The only triple doubles you get come with fries.
Last time you blocked someone, you were online.
I can do this all day. Your moves are just gay.
Using gay to mean dumb or stupid, not cool.
Not cool.
Not in my house, not anywhere. It's not creative, it's offensive to gay people. And you're better than that.
All right, Caroline Strange is back here with us to give us our wake-up weather. So I got family in town. What should we be wearing?
Well, tomorrow afternoon, especially if you're going to be outside, there's a slight chance of rain, so maybe grab a jacket, and it's going to be a little bit cooler on Sunday, so make sure you have something just in case.
All right, Caroline, thanks as always.
Thank you.
Well, the Queen of England has officially joined the Twitter universe. Her Royal Highness has sent her first tweet via the British Monarchy Twitter account today.
She appropriately sent the tweet while attending the Information Age exhibit at the Museum of Science in London. She had an audience of 600 watching her send the historic tweet.
Well, I can't even get my grandparents on it, but hey, if they can get the Queen, I guess
I can
guess she
hardly
rules.
even tweet myself.
That's right.
That's it for the Citrus TV News live at 6 tonight. I'm Amanda Herring.
And I'm Hunter Sines. Thanks for watching, and be sure to check out our Twitter and answer the question of the day. Have a good weekend and good night.